Okay, so now we've completed our yellow Balau hardwood decking. That's all screwed down and fully fixed. And the next bit to move on to is the yellow Balau components. So we're going to be fitting the handrail, the posts, ballast rods and base rail, and we've got the infill as well. We've already pre-fitted a couple of components, which are these two end posts, and we've got a further one in the far corner. And then we've cut a 45-degree mitre here and turned a bit of this handrail on its end so you don't see the rebate. So that's the same piece of timber as this one here. So this is a 90mm wide, 40mm thick with a 10x50 rebate out of it. And like I say, we've put that section on the end there to obviously hide that detail, because that would look a bit ugly if that was just seen from the outside face. So then the next component we've got is the base rail, which is very similar to the handrail. 90mm wide again, but only 28mm thick, and it's got the same 10x50 rebate out of it, and that's going to go along the base here. Maximum distance from the floor is 100mm. I think we're going to set ours about 50mm off the floor. And talking about that, the overall height of this must be 1.1 meters or more if it's a flat area on a walkway, and 0.9 meters to the outside edge of the step if you've got a handrail going downwards. So this is the 10x50 yellow Balau infill. This fits perfectly into the base rail, and again it fits into the handrail, and then that's all going to be cut into short sections so that fits into the handrail, and then you can have your vertical ballast rods coming down from that. Next component is the what we call smooth ballast rod. Even though it's got two V's on opposing faces, it is the smooth version. This is to do with how they, the restrictions on exporting perfectly smooth profiles. So you've got those V's on alternative face. When we fit this, we're going to fit it smooth face outwards and the V's on the side. And then the final component is the yellow Balau post, which is 90mm by 90mm. This has got 4 grooves on 4 opposing faces, and that's what we're using on this corner piece here. So if you look at that, that's identical width to the handrail. So like I say, we've already secured this down already, and we've done the same system as we did with fitting the screws for the yellow Balau decking. We used the step drill on the top, and we've just put 2 60mm antique deck screws straight down through the top here. And then, like I say before, we've put the mitre on the end to hide the end detail. When our base rail comes along the base here, the spindle is going to come down, and then we're going to put a further short piece of spindle underneath, and that will keep the whole structure in position and make it strong. But we'll show you that as we build it. Okay, so the next phase, we've already completed the yellow Balau handrail and ballast rods at the back, but now we're going to show you how we do it on this face here. So we've cut the base rail to length, so that fits snug in between the 2 posts, and we're going to set out 4 posts, 4 balustrades along here, and we're going to pick up the same design where we've got a small section going down to the base of the deck to give it all the strength. So we're going to come in 2 ballast rods on these ones here, and then we're going to divide these up equally. So the first thing we've got to do is lay out all of our ballast rods and work out what all our spacing is going to be. Okay, so now we've laid out all our ballast rods for the whole length, with all our spaces in between that are all cut exactly the same size. Now we've got a tiny fraction of a difference on the last one, only a few millimetres, but that tends to happen because you can never cut exactly perfect. So following the same design we've got over on this side, we're going to have two little legs come down on the second one and then the second one from the far end, and then we're going to do another 4 spindles in and 4 spindles in, and we're going to fix another piece down to the base there. So to give the whole structure much more strength, we're going to screw up through this one and screw up here, and the same with those two at the other end, and then when we put the base piece down we can make the overall structure really strong by fixing down into the decking. So now we've stood that up on its end and we've got the temporary blocks in position just to take the whole height up. And you've got those 3 that are permanently fixed from the bottom. And when we've got much more of it built, we'll screw through from the top as well to tie it all together. So now we're putting more ballast rods in to work out exactly where we want to position our lower block so it lines up and follows through the line of a ballast rod. So we're just going to go centre in this ballast rod here. So I've made a point there, 45 millimetres from either, because it's 90 millimetre wide. And then we go through the middle with a step drill. And with the 5x60 antique deck screw. All done.